Hi there and welcome to the Joseph Cromie Kitchen. I'm Nick Raitt, I'm the chef here. Thank you for trying one of our homemade meals. We've made it all in the kitchen here and it's a dish that I hope will replicate an experience being out here. I hope you enjoy it and I hope it's easy. So I'm going to run you through how I would reheat it and how I would plate it as well, so that you might get a little bit of that presentation to the dish, which will impress your partner or whoever's eating the dish and give you a little bit more confidence about how you might do that. Okay, so we've got the Scottsdale Pork scotch fillet. So we've got a few containers in this one. Scottsdale Pork scotch fillet, so it's the neck. We've cooked that, we've brined it for 3 to 4 hours, and then we've slow cooked it for 20 hours as a whole cut of meat, and then we've broken that down into nice little steaks. And then all you'll need to do is put it back through the oven, and it'll get a nice little bit of a glaze, a little bit of caramelisation, and it'll be tender, medium to medium well, and yeah, it'll be a great representation of what Scottsdale can do with their pork. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open the bag. So we've stapled the top with the label, which has the nutritional guide and the ingredients list on the back. So what we'll do is take it apart, keep it if you need it for the ingredients, but otherwise power ahead. So we've stapled at the top of the bag because some of these bags will need to go into the warm up without opening them. That's one of the tricks of this system, is that the flavour's already in the bag, the work's already been done, all you need to do is warm it up. So just check to make sure that none of the bags need to stay closed before opening anything at all. What we've got is the pork scotch fillet. We've got orecchiette pasta, which is a beautiful firm semolina pasta. We've got some shaved silver beet here, just some local silver beet. We've got a dressing which we've made with lemon juice, compressed apple, a little bit of golden raisins, and a roasted apple puree. So it's going to be many layers to the dish. It'll be simple looking, but it'll just all come together and will work really well. Now warming the pork up, you've got to take it out of the bag and you need to take the sauce with it. So a little trick would be to just pop it into a pot of hot water. I have a pot of hot water pre-prepared here. So you just dunk it in your medium pan of hot water, or small pan, which you would have on for your orecchiette pasta anyway. And that'll just help to free that sauce from the bag. Just make it a little bit easier. I would use scissors, not a big slicing knife like that is what I would use. So here we have the pork. We're going to put that in the oven for 8 minutes in a hot oven, and then we'll come back to plating the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so we've had the pasta in for half of the cooking time now. So if you haven't started that process of your instruction sheet, then pop your pasta in, set your timer for the 6 minutes recommended, and then when it's halfway through cooking, you can come back to this part of the process, which will be all in one fluid motion. So the pasta's been in for 3 minutes. I've lowered the temperature so it is warming through, but it's not boiling rapidly. And I'm going to make the salad, and then the pork will be ready, the pasta will be ready. We'll finish the pasta, just a little bit of creaminess with it, and then we'll plate it up. So I will have a medium bowl. You can have a slightly smaller one than this if you prefer. It's just for the silver beet. You open the bag. The silver beet will have a little bit of water in it. So that just keeps it fresh and keeps the stems white. So I'm just going to take away that water. You don't have to squeeze it out too much. Just let the water come out of it. You're probably actually a better way to do it would be to open it into a little colander, and that'll really drain away. So you don't want too much water in there because the water is just going to dilute the other flavours. The rest of the dish has got some really good balance and some really good seasoning, so we don't want to dilute it with the water on the silver beet. We have the dressing, which is a lemon, garlic and thyme-based vinaigrette. It's got some golden raisins, it's got some compressed apple, which we've just finely julienned. So it's going to be really lemony, it's going to be quite crunchy because of the silver beet, and it's going to help to cut through the creaminess of the pasta and it's quite obviously quite sweet because of the Riesling and the glaze. So that's the silver beet into here. Your dressing, just plonk that in. The dressing is seasoned, so we don't need to season it anymore. You can just use some tongs for this one. There's some salads you really want to use your fingers because you don't want to agitate the leaves too much, but silver beet does like a bit of a good dressing. So we've got all the ingredients in there. Beautiful green colour, really enhanced by that dressing there. So we've got our dressing in there. We've got pork has just come out of the oven. The pasta timer would be going off in your home, I imagine. So we're going to grab the pasta out and we're going to finish that. So we have the pasta, so it's all nice and warm. The thing that will happen with this is the sauce it'll split a little bit. So we're going to put it into a bowl and we're just going to mix it well. And we're going to add a tiny bit of olive oil. So the sauce will just come together. So use a slightly larger bowl and a wooden spoon, and it'll just go really creamy, and the sauce will come back together. So that's exactly what we do in a restaurant with finishing butters or sauces or emulsifications where we're using stocks and oils. Essentially, it's a very similar way of doing it, and it gives a nice creamy finish on the palate. So the pork is out. We bring it onto our board. It's got a nice bit of sauce left in the pan, and that's going to really complement everything else. I'm just going to pop that sauce into a smaller bowl, just for ease a bit later. And that's what we do in restaurants. We make sure that everything is in a clean and organised, tidy manner, and that makes for clean plates later. So, time to plate. We're going to plate it on our white plates tonight, which is what we like to use at Joseph Crony for our main courses. So we've got the pork resting, as it says on the instructions, good season of sea salt. We're going to start to plate the dish now, start to assemble. So you'll cut the corner off the corner of the bag, and we're going to use it a bit like a pastry chef might use a piping bag for a cake. It's just going to really put that sauce pretty much where we want it to be. We're then going to take a spoon and we're going to spread it out. So these are roasted gala apples that we've used. So obviously pork and apple is a match made in heaven. We're going to next add our pork to it, so our seasoned pork. So we would just cut that probably 3 times. So you've got a really beautiful pink on there. And then we're just going to put it in the middle and then just spread it out. Always taking your time. You don't want to be moving things after you've plated them. That's one of the really important parts of restaurant plating. That's what we're always trying to teach our young chefs, is that you don't want to move things around because then you'll lose the clean finish on the plate. Okay, ora kete. Silver beet salad, and this is just lovely. It'll just cut through everything. So I'm just going to put it all over it. Okay, so nice pops from those golden raisins in there, nice pop of acidity. We've got our pancetta, so this is prosciutto di Parma. A few pieces of prosciutto. Absolutely one of the greatest things in the culinary world is the way that the Italians make prosciutto. We have a few leaves. That's it. Then we've got a little bit of sauce. It does actually say to add this sauce before the rest of the ingredients, which is probably as easy. And 2 tablespoons per plate, a little bit around. And there you go, there's a Joseph Cromie style dish in your own home. Good luck with it and bon appetit.